I want to own a bank. How much capital would I need to start? MergersCorp. At MergersCorp M&A International, we help our clients confidentially buy and sell privately held businesses, align the interests of all parties for mature success and satisfaction. It's our goal to make the process of either buying a new business or selling your current business as smooth and efficient as possible. We know how important confidentiality is to our sellers, and we treat it with the utmost importance. I want to own a bank. How much capital would I need to start? I want to own a bank. How much capital would I need to start? The banking industry has changed substantially as wealthy investors surpass benchmarks that were pipe dreams just a few decades ago. Today's ability to generate internet wealth and the increasing gap between the wealthy and the lower middle class make it possible for well-situated investors to do the unbelievable: start their own banks. There are banks and branches of banks in every country, and smart investors can capitalize on the needs of a particular community or industry. The trend of bigger banks buying up smaller ones has left a real need for locally based banks that provide more empathetic and personalized service. Several of the biggest names in finance, such as former Federal Reserve Chairman Alan Greenspan, admit they would start their own banks if they were younger. How to fund a bank startup. I want to own a bank. How much capital would I need to start? The question is one that more and more wealthy people are considering because of the great benefits of owning a bank. Most startup banks require anywhere from $12 million to $20 million to open the doors, but that figure is just the beginning. Banks invest and expand to stay competitive, and starting a bank requires vision, energy, capital raising skills, and the ability to wade through an extended application process that involves multiple regulatory agencies. You don't need all the money under your personal control. You can seek partners or raise money through crowdfunding, neighborhood investment partners, etc. Getting the money, strangely enough, is often the easiest part of starting a bank. The application process to start a bank is much stricter than usual in the aftermath of 9/11 terrorist attacks. It's actually easier to buy a bank and change it to suit your needs. How to buy a bank. You can buy a bank or a controlling interest in a small bank for less money than it takes to start one. Many banks fail as a lingering consequence of the 2008 mortgage crisis, and the coronavirus pandemic promises to slow down the world's economy again. However, if you have solid assets, you can weather the financial storm to capitalize on some genuine opportunities on bargain-priced banking assets. In the United States, the Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation, or FDIC, regulates the banking industry and monitors the health of banks. Banks can declare bankruptcy. Those banks without sufficient assets to operate are put into receivership, and the FDIC acts as a receiver to sell off the assets of banks that are insured by the FDIC. The agency also encourages financially troubled banks to sell their operations to new owners to avoid going the receivership route. You can find banks for sale through the FDIC, and the agency has streamlined the process of buying a bank in lieu of having to sell off the assets of troubled institutions. You can also find a bank for sale in other forums. Reputable brokers and specialized attorneys often handle the private sale of banks all over the world. You might look for banks to buy through Google searches to find private sales, bank auctions, etc. One of the most respected brokerages firm is MergersCorp M&A International. The brokerage handles bank sales and investments and even carries an inventory of banks ready for an infusion of cash. If you want to buy a bank, contact the brokerage at MergersCorp.com for further information. There's no quicker or easier way to buy your own bank and shape it to fulfill a need. I want to own a bank. How much capital would I need to start? Looking to buy a bank? Contact us now for more information.